Hi, welcome to CMO Room Spotlight. I'm Andrea Orth, Executive Director of CMO Room, and I'm here today in New York City with David Lorango. He is currently a fractional CMO consulting with a variety of large brands such as Uniqlo and Victory Spirits? Varsity Spirits as well, among others. And so we're going to have a really interesting conversation about fractional CMOs. And I think that's really something that we're seeing a lot of senior level marketers kind of dive into as they kind of evolve through their career, which I personally love because I think it keeps it interesting and it keeps it fresh, and it also, gives you just variety in the work that you're doing. So let's start out. As a fractional CMO, when you go in and you diagnose a company's biggest marketing gaps quickly, where do you usually start?
It's a good question. I actually use a lot of AI tools now. And they're good. They aren't the framework of what I'm doing, but I try to understand what product market fit, who are the main competitors, who is doing this well, who isn't doing it well. Looking at the landscape helps me understand where their gaps are or where their opportunities are. So it can be everything from packaging, it can be everything from product market fit, demographic. Really looking at it, I would say, from the core. Believe it or not, I think the core elements of marketing have diminished. So a lot of times, and I think this is where the fractional piece can come in, is people have forgotten what marketing is. At the end of the day, it's really bringing product to market. So really the opportunity and gaps are we speaking to the right customer set? Are we not? What are the opportunities? So we could take example like Varsity. I think the major opportunity for a brand like Varsity, we work kind of on the agency side, we work with them and understand TikTok is probably a great market to show up, right? So where are the gaps and also opportunities, because it's a younger product, it's a younger brand, but it's also been around a very long time. So being able to understand and find those gaps, really crucial to then being able to grow and scale. So whether it's demographic, whether it's audiences, whether it's product market fit, really taking a look at the landscape as a whole and then understanding and finding where the gaps are within the current product fit, and then really being able to either exploit those or, again, create some new product from it.
Okay, so you talked a lot about, really how you're going to approach it and how you kind of come in and find these gaps. Is there then a framework that you apply when you're working with these brands across different, strategic recommendations for different brands in different categories? Is there a specific framework for all of them?
Yeah, I do. I think I'm going to say it's starting with a deck of something looking like, again, diagnosing where the product is in the market, understanding and diagnosing that, and really driving and drilling down and distilling into the core basics. So the framework is usually, what is this product and what does it do and why does it do it? What is the product physically? What does the product allow you to do? What does it not allow you to do? Where do you fit emotionally with the product? So I think the diagnosis really that I look at is, and even this goes down to marketing itself. Too many brands, you'll see product out there, or you'll see ads out there rather, they don't even tell you what the product is. Here's an image. Okay, well that says, your framework really is, and this is from Linda Resnick, I started at the wonderful company, but she said, don't think outside the box, think inside the box. The box for her was the product. The product is your framework. What is in it? What is it about the product? What does it do? Is it functional benefits? I start there as a framework, right? If it's not within the core essence of the product, we shouldn't try to be something that we're not. Yeah. So starting at the very fundamentals, start at the fundamentals and then build it out. And then the framework usually looks something like, again, product market fit, which channels, which opportunities are the right segments? Is this a retail product? Is it not? But I think a first point of the framework that we're looking at is what are in the product or product set. If it's in fashion example, what are the core elements of the product that make sense, to fit?
Makes sense, and sounds like, that's just something that could be used across the board in different roles for different companies.
Yes.
So that's obviously really smart to have that kind of consistency. When you're thinking about balancing things, how are you balancing short-term performance with that long-term brand building when you're approaching any of these projects?
There's two ways that I think about it. Some that are like early stage and growth, I think there is no long-term yet. There is no long-term. So especially with early stage founders, the worst thing that I hear is, oh, well, I'm worried about the brand in the future. I'm like, you don't have a brand in the future yet. Let's get the brand built. Let's get sales. Let's get you out the door. And over that time, we build it. Because a consumer doesn't even know, right? It's first couple dates. You're not married yet. There is no long term. You're going to set that standard over the life of the brand. Now, flip that to larger brands or brands that have been around for quite some time. I think making sure that you're very consistent on product is crucial, and then making sure that we do not discount ourselves into oblivion. And so that is, and a great example of this is Ralph Lauren's product, where and you see what they've done as a brand. They went big and large, and they were everywhere, and they're all of these colors everywhere. They were a mall brand. And they said, you know what, we're gonna strip this back. We're actually gonna cut sales. We're gonna cut this. We're kind of losing revenue. And they went back to their essentials. To now where Gen Z calls this, which is ironic, this more Victorian era, they call it the Ralph Lauren look. I don't know if you've seen this. You go on Instagram, you go on TikTok, they call it Ralph. I'm like, this is funny to me because this is kind of this Victorian style era. That isn't even that, but they are now associating the brand with this old world, old money aesthetic, which is what he built the brand on. And so to that point,
as a Gen Xer, I remember it being built that way, yes.
Yeah. And so that's the core of the elements that I think you have to look at when you're building brand and longevity, which is do not go against the core of the product. What did he built? Americana. And this essence of old money that I can be a part of, right? This old money culture. So it's a great example of maintaining your core focus and not deviating even as you try to scale. So two distinct ways I look at it, enterprise and startup.
Love that, makes a ton of sense. So last question, what advice do you give founders and leadership teams about getting the most value out of a fractional CMO like yourself?
Listen to them. The biggest one is listen. Ask them questions though too. You're paying for their time and expertise. Two failures are that they aren't asking the questions and then the brands also aren't being listened to, right? So ask the questions and listen to them. Huge one. Otherwise, I don't know why you're hiring them. If you're just hiring somebody to kind of project manage or babysit, don't do it. Don't hire them. Hire somebody else to do that. Fractional CMO should be guiding your business. Listen to them. They have what it takes, so they should. That's why you hired them. But if you're not, you're wasting your dollars.
Agree. Yeah, I actually just read something on LinkedIn. I think it was the other day, yesterday or today, about how often, especially new founders, bring in a new CMO or a fractional CMO, and then they think that it's their brand, their baby, they're growing, and they don't listen to them.
Yep.
And they just kind of override what they're telling them. So it's really just a waste of money.
Yes, yeah. And
so spend your money wisely.
Yes, yeah.
Bring in smart
your
people
right
to help.
consultants. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Love it. Well, thanks so much, David, for being here. It was great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the evening.
Yes, thanks.